Wow, so the Eagles defense just showed why they're the best in the NFL as they came to Baltimore and beat up the Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry led Ravens offense in what was a scary statement to the rest of the league. However, things may have gone a little differently without the help of a fiery message from safety CJ Gardner Johnson. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley strengthened his MVP case as he knocked out the Ravens in the fourth quarter, but it wouldn't have been possible without the efforts of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. So we're going to talk about that and everything else from the Eagles' win over the Ravens starting right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles, and things really could not be going much better right now if you're an Eagles fan, as Philly just keeps on winning no matter who they're up against, and this time it was the Baltimore Ravens led by MVP candidates Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, who many have dubbed true Super Bowl contenders in the AFC, which is why it was just that much more impressive to see the Birds come out with a tough, gritty victory as the defense was able to effectively slow down Lamar, King Henry, and the Ravens' #1 ranked offense, while offensively Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown got it going after a rough start, and then Saquon Barkley did what he always does and knocked the Ravens out in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, though, things didn't really start out the best for the Birds, as on offense, Philly only managed 2 first downs in their first 4 drives, all of which ended in punts, and then on defense, they didn't start out too hot either, as they allowed the Ravens offense to get going after Lamar Jackson made a great play to escape and find Zay Flowers for a 40-yard pickup before they capped off the drive with a field goal, and then the Birds let up a touchdown on the next Baltimore drive by way of a Lamar Jackson 14-yard touchdown pass to Mark Andrews, who made an impressive play to go up over Reed Blankenship for the score. And just like that, the Eagles quickly found themselves in a 9-0 hole. But after that, the defensive struggles were put to a stop, and a huge amount of credit is owed to safety CJ Gardner Johnson, as it was reported during the game broadcast that after the Ravens scored that touchdown, CD pulled the whole defense aside and addressed them, and he got a little animated during what appeared to be a fiery message sent to the unit that they are capable of playing much better than they were. And they answered the call, as from that point on, they completely turned things around defensively, including forcing the Ravens offense to 3 and outs on each of their next 3 drives. So shout out to CJ Gardner Johnson for stepping up as a leader in that situation and just helping the Birds defense get back on track when they were struggling, and also huge credit to him for just elevating his level of play individually during this 8-game win streak that the Birds are on, as after a rough start to his Eagles reunion in the first 4 games, Chauncey has gotten on track since the bye week, and he's been a really important piece for this Eagles defense both on the field but also as a leader. And again, here specifically, he played a significant part in helping the defense get back on track, so drop a like down below for that. And when it comes to the early defensive turnaround, it wasn't really because the Eagles made any big time adjustments or anything like that, but according to linebacker Zack Baun, it was more just them getting back to playing their brand of football and being more technically sound.
No adjustments. It was a big penalty we let up, and then a scramble. We didn't plaster. We didn't stay on our guys. So just playing sound football is what it was. No real adjustments made.
I think it says a lot about this team and defense that they just didn't allow their early mistakes to snowball, and instead they were able to learn from them, move on, and play great the rest of the game. Like, I think that just speaks to the resiliency and the determined mindset of this football team. Now, of course, that determined mindset doesn't just apply to the defense, but it applies to all 3 phases, including special teams, as after some early penalties, Michael Clay's unit was able to bounce back and pin the Ravens offense back on the 1-yard line, and after a defensive stop, the Birds offense got the ball back in great field position, and they showed their resiliency as Jalen Hurts and the rest of the unit finally got something going both through the air and on the ground, in large part due to the success of their RPO game, and they were able to cap off the drive on an RPO where Jalen Hurts hit Dallas Goedert on the outside, and he got him from 17 yards out for the touchdown to bring the score to 9-7. And the offense wasn't done there, as they kept things going on their next drive, in which the connection between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown was on full display, as the duo made several plays to get the Birds down the field before Jalen Hurts set up a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line with a run on 3rd and 5 up the middle, and he then capped it off with an awkward but still ultimately successful brotherly shove touchdown to give the Eagles their first lead at 14-9. So overall, it was just a great response by the Eagles to show resiliency and bounce back from what was a rough start and eventually take the lead late in the second quarter. And specifically, it was really just great to see Jalen Hurts get going, particularly through the RPO game, as he was in a clear rhythm in that second quarter and making great decisions and accurate throws. And overall, even though the numbers won't show it, Hurts played a really solid game once again, as he just played smart, winning football. And again, his connection with AJ Brown was working in full force, and that along with some throws to other guys was really the key to the offense getting going.
I think anytime we're able to get the sticks moving, it's big, and I'm proud of how everyone showed up when the opportunity presents itself. Think of just time on task and building trust with guys. You know who AJ is. You know he's a hell of a player. He's been that. And anytime he has a ball in his hands, he has the opportunity to make a play.
I honestly think that A.J. Brown specifically deserves a tremendous amount of credit for his role in the offense right now. Because, things look a little different this year than they have in the past, with the extra emphasis being placed on the run game, so A.J.'s numbers don't exactly look quite as good as they have in the past couple of years, yet he hasn't complained, he's never really shown frustration, and whenever the Eagles do call on him to make a play, he steps up, and that's exactly what he did in this game, so again, that is a huge credit to him and his mindset. Moving on though, the Ravens were not going away after that touchdown drive by the Eagles, as they put together a nice drive to end off the first half that looked like it very well could have ended in a touchdown, but a great sack by Jalen Carter completely derailed things for Baltimore and caused them to eventually have to settle for a 50-yard field goal to bring the score to 14-12 to end the half. And really, the entire third quarter ended up being similar to that last drive, as Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the offense were able to move the ball and get into scoring position, but the Eagles defense ultimately was able to hold up in the end. I mean, take the Ravens' first drive of the second half, for example, where they got down to the Eagles' 15-yard line before Zack Baun and the rookie Jalen Hunt made a big-time play as they combined for a sack on Lamar Jackson on third down that pushed them back 14 yards, leading to a much more difficult field goal attempt for Justin Tucker, and his struggles continued as he actually ended up missing it. So that sack from Baun and Jalen Hunt ended up being a crucial play, and shout out to the both of them for making it. And then, like I said, the Ravens' following drive played out in a similar way, as they got down the field, but the Eagles were able to get off the field on third down, and Justin Tucker then missed another field goal, making that his third missed kick of the game, which is something that he's actually never done before in his career. So there is no denying that the Eagles did definitely benefit from Tucker's struggles, as that is 7 points that he left on the board with those missed kicks that could have completely changed the flow of the game. That being said, though, the Eagles' defense also definitely deserves credit for bending but not breaking, and really holding down the Ravens' high-powered offense during this stretch, while the offense for the Eagles was struggling, as they went 3 and out on their first 2 drives of the second half. Fortunately, though, they finally got it going on their first drive of the fourth quarter, and this is where Saquon Barkley delivered his signature knockout punch. And don't worry, we're going to get into that and more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming in the future, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here throughout the week, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, and also while you're at it, make sure you drop a like as well to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So, as I was saying, after a bad third quarter, the Eagles offense got rolling in the fourth, as the 3rd and 7 conversion to Dallas Goedert sparked things before the Eagles run game finally got going after struggling for much of the afternoon, and then Saquon Barkley delivered his signature knockout punch as he took an inside zone handoff to the right and broke loose for a 25-yard touchdown that put the Birds up 2 scores. And the unsung hero of this play was actually left tackle Jordan Mailata, who pulled around and got a crucial block that sprung Barkley free. And after the game, Saquon made sure to give credit to the star lineman while expressing a tremendous amount of trust in him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great call. We have, an unbelievable offensive line. I think week in and week out, you guys are able to see that, and especially our tackles, they're able to move, and how big they are and able to move at that size helps us out a lot. I kind of saw the look. Just trusted that he's going to make the block, and I just ran through as fast as I can, pretty much with my eyes closed, and got to the open field. And DeJean and Paris did a really good job of running off the DBs to open up space for me, and we were able to get into it.
How much is it close?
I wouldn't say it was closed, but it's called basically blind faith. I trusted so much that he's going to make the block that I just followed his hip and I just hit at full speed.
While Saquon Barkley is obviously the one that's going to get the majority of the praise, guys like Jordan Mailata and just the Eagles' entire offensive line really just deserve so much credit for how good this Eagles run game has been this year. But that being said, there's also no doubt that Saquon has elevated it to new heights, as he's just been unbelievable, and this game only added to his MVP case as he put up 107 rushing yards on Baltimore's number 2 ranked run defense, making him the first player to put up more than 88 rushing yards on that unit this year. And as has been the norm for him this season, Barkley Barkley really came alive down the stretch of the game, and specifically in that fourth quarter, where he of course broke the long run for the touchdown to really tilt the game in the Birds' favor, which earned MVP chants from the Philly fans down in Baltimore. And at this point, it's just become routine that no matter how the game is going, as long as the Eagles stick with the run game, Saquon will eventually break off a long one and change the game. So much so to the point where his Eagles teammates expect nothing less from it.
With Saquon, does it kind of feel like at some point he's going to break one?
Absolutely. All the time. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that feeling like though when you finally knows and everything?
Before, it's like hurry up and do it. And then it's like, all right, thank you. Simple as that. You know, like late in the game, like we were telling him to go on, put your cape on. Put your cape on, like hurry up, let him out. And he did exactly that.
With Saquon, does it always kind of feel like he's eventually going to break one?
Yeah, you know, the guy has so much talent and ability, and you know, you combine that with work ethic, and that's what you get.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly crazy what Saquon has been able to do this season, and I don't know about you, but I'm personally bought all the way into this Saquon Barkley for MVP hype. But honestly, like I've been going back to this whole video, really the story of this game is the Eagles defense and how they played in this one. Because for them to come into Baltimore and effectively shut down Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the Ravens' #1 ranked offense is just so impressive. And they had perhaps their best moment of the entire game on the drive following Barkley's touchdown, as the rookie Cooper DeJean made what was simply an awesome play as he picked up Derrick Henry and drove him back into the ground on 3rd down to set up a 4th and 8. And on that play, Lamar Jackson's pass was nearly picked off by backup safety Tristan McCollum, who was in for a concussed Reed Blankenship. So it was a fantastic sequence of plays for the Birds defense to get the Ravens off the field. And really, DeJean's tackle on Henry was just incredible, and also my personal favorite play of the game. And it seems that Coop may have actually even surprised himself a little bit with how that play went down.
I mean, I didn't really expect to pick him up like that. You know, I was kind of just doing my job, coming down to make a tackle, run through him, trying to run through him. He's a pretty big dude, though. I felt it a little bit for sure, but had a lot of adrenaline running. You know, but I was just playing my coverage, came down to make the hit.
Again, this was just an awesome play, and I also think it's a perfect representation of how the Eagles defense played not just in this game, but really ever since their bye week, and that's just simply a tough and physical brand of football, and that's helped them become what is the best defense in the NFL. And after the game, multiple guys spoke on that physicality that the defense plays with that has just been so crucial for them.
What did you learn about the defense in a matchup like this against that Ravens offense?
Tough, physical. We showed some clips of us against Derrick Henry in 2022, and he had some good runs. There's no doubt. But you know, we just kept coming and were resilient. Effort to the football. They were very determined to show how physical we were. You could see Chauncey coming up and laying some hits on there that were really finishing off hits legally, and you know, we got good pressure. And obviously, Lamar is such a good football player. Was able to get out of some things, but we had some good consistent pressure against a good offensive line with our defensive line, and so it was muddy. We forced them to go the long way.
Any team is always physicality and leadership. If everybody brings physicality, you get to see who really want to play football, who don't.
You know, we preach, you know, being the most physical team on the field every week. You know, so that's our job to go out and put that on the field. That's what we want to be. You know, we want to be the most physical team on the field every week. You know, and that starts in practice. You know, we're wearing pads on Wednesdays. You know, going through our tackle circuit, so we can come out and tackle and play physical on Sundays.
Our identity is physical, and if you're going to challenge that, then we're going to show up and be more physical.
It was just awesome to see the Eagles out physical the Baltimore Ravens, who are a pretty physical team themselves, and I honestly think that this is what made this game so impressive, right? Like, the Ravens are a physical team that likes to impose their will on opposing teams on both sides of the ball, yet the Eagles are the ones that made the Ravens match their physicality on this one, and they just couldn't do it. And specifically, on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles, I think what they did was really scary, because the Ravens have about the best offense in the entire NFL, and they can beat you in a variety of different ways, yet the Eagles defense slowed them down just about as much as any team has this season, and if not for their garbage time touchdown, they would have been held to a season low 12 points on the day and also not have scored in the second half. So I mean, if the Ravens offense can't crack the Eagles defense, then it's just kind of hard to envision many other teams having a shot at doing it. And as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, that's just a scary thing for opposing NFC teams to think about. And overall, just regarding this game, which they ended up winning 24-19 after they bled the clock and got a field goal, and then the Ravens garbage time touchdown, I think this was a really impressive W by the Birds. Like, was it perfect? No, of course not. And there are some things the Eagles need to be better at, especially offensively. But at the end of the day, the Ravens are a very good football team and a clear Super Bowl contender, and the Eagles came to their house, they beat them up, and got a road win, making that 8 straight victories for the Birds, and they still have a very real shot at that #1 seed. So it is certainly a good time to be an Eagles fan right now, as this team just has a special feeling.
All right, what's America's bird? Eagle.
Now, I want to know what you guys think, though. Give me your thoughts on the Eagles win over the Ravens down in the comments below. And also, while you're at it, again, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this when it's uploaded. And also, again, make sure you leave a like as well to show some support if you did enjoy this video. Let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this out right here. And now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.